Welcome back to Beyond the Clouds, folks. I'm Joe James Turner. This is Ken Chandler. And, of course, we're on the WCOBM Network live right here in Las Vegas with Trade Martin today. We're very blessed to have him. Go ahead.
I wanted to have him finish his story, but before we do that, I just want to give Trade a plug because I've been on his shows. He has 2 shows and have, was it 2 or 3 years or more, longer than that, right?
I've been running like 3 years, yeah.
Yeah, I thought something like that. And it's the Trade Martin Show. It's on Wednesdays at midnight. And it's on Blog Talk Radio, the Big Dog Music Radio. And then on Sundays, he has the Sunday Morning Funhouse with my man Jimmy J. Jimmy J. WMEX in Boston.
WMEX right here.
The big hits. Right.
So he understands the power of social media.
Yes, of course.
And television and radio and all that stuff. So you know the power that we're dealing with here as well, right?
You whistle. Whoa! I like that. Hot stuff. Hey, listen, now look, I want you to get back to the end of that story because we cut you off.
Okay, with the B.B. King story, so now I had the tapes, I listened to the tapes, and I told, and Sidney asked me, Sidney Seidenberg, who passed away, he was a great guy, he passed away like about 5-6 years ago, you know, but he was really up in age. But he said, what do you think? I said, man, I could make a real good album out of this. So now, you got to remember that MCA, the record company that BB's with, they rejected this album. The A&R man said, listen, we won't release this album. We can't stand this album. It's not a good album. We're not going to do anything like that because it's not a quality album, and we cannot release this album.
Unbelievable.
Anyway,
Whoever heard that before?
I take the album, and I listened to it, and I cut gold. There was a lot of talking that was really boring in it, BB. And the spot where he says to the guys, he says, I want you to be happy. I want you guys to really be happy. And he said, these guys are all on death row, and they're all very happy, you know? Mm-hmm. But anyway, I took it, I ran his guitar. It didn't sound that good. I mean, he was playing great. He always plays great. But, you know, his sound didn't sound that great on this album. So I ran it through another amp. I ran it through a Fender Twin at the studio, and we brought it back through a Telefunken mic, and I got it to sound like it was really wailing live. It was really sounding great. And I remixed the whole thing, put some applause sounds on it, and made it sound. It sounded dead before. Now I made it sound really alive. It sounded, and I brightened it up, and it got a lot of bass on it. It sounded really R&B, really happening.
Nice.
And I also, Sidney wanted me to put a song in the album, one of my own songs, and I wrote this song for BB called Peace to the World. So, Peace to the World, because he was going on a world tour, I said, listen, Sidney, he'll be able to sing this thing around the world, because Peace to the World is like a real big statement, like it will never happen.
Right.
But it's a great song for him. It's a very positive song. So
yes.
I made the demo on this the Peace to the World song, and I brought it into Sydney. And at the time, I had it on cassette because this was late in the 80s or early 90s or something when I did this thing with him. Oh. So I brought it and I played it for him. And Sidney looks at me. He said, "How'd you get BB to sing this?" I said, "Sidney, that's me singing."
Oh!
He goes, He goes, "So you're imitating BB?" I said, "Yeah, I wanted to sound like BB because, I don't sound like BB really."
Right.
But he just, he wasn't that much of a music guy, Sidney. He was really a great manager, but he was a great promoter, but he wasn't much of a music guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he listened to it. He goes, "It's great. How'd you get BB to sing it?" It's me singing. So anyway,
That's funny.
we played it for BB, and BB loves it. And I mean, he did it on the Tonight Show and everything. And so we recorded it with BB. I did the track, recorded it with BB, put it in the San Quentin album that I remixed completely. They represented it to MCA Records. Now the A&R man that completely, flatly rejected the thing,
Right.
the new A&R man loved it, thought it was great. The promo guy said, "This is an international smash. It's going to be great." They put it right out. They didn't even know they rejected it before. You know, I mean, you know, this corporate thing, they don't even know what's going on in the next office. They have no idea what's going on. So they accepted it, they loved it, and released it. And the thing winds up winning the best
Grammy.
Blues out the year.
Unbelievable.
Well, that's show business, isn't it?
That's what we're saying. That's what's so
Show
terrific.
business, man. You
Where are you
never
going to hear?
know.
Where are you going to know this?
Hey, Trey, how many? And you remember a lot of the records back in the day when the song that they pushed. You remember A and B side, right? The A side is the side they pushed, and many times the B side became the hit. Bobby Darin.
Oh, yeah.
I think Splish Splash was a B side.
Really?
Was it really? I didn't know that. Cause I
Yeah,
knew
I think.
Bobby.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But he it happened all the time. I think I don't know. He Will Break Your Heart was a B side. But you know, we were on the road doing record hops. Remember?
Right.
Yeah,
Sure.
and we go to the stations, and the disc jockeys used to tell me this. They used to say, "Well, they initially sent out this as a B side, and then it turns out to be a major hit." Nobody
Unbelievable.
knows. I mean,
You don't.
The public knows. That's who knows.
Right.
Right, Trade?
That's true.
That's what
true.
the deal is.
Very true.
It's up to them. Yeah.
Did you have a question? You had a couple of questions. You
Oh yeah. Hey, let me ask you this. I've often wondered many times we've talked, and you know, you're such a great guitarist. Did you admire B.B. King before you started playing, or who did you emulate? Who was who are you a fan of?
I was a jazz oriented guy, and I studied with the same teacher that Mickey Guitar Baker studied with. His name was Rector Bailey, and this guy is a legend. You don't even know about him. Nobody even knows about him. But Mickey Baker, if you know, I'm sure Joe knows, and you know who Mickey Baker is. Him and Sylvia.
Mickey and Sylvia, yeah, right.
You know?
Yeah.
He dedicated his first jazz book to the teacher that I studied with, Rector Bailey. And Rector, I heard it rumored, and I'm not sure if it's true, but that George Benson studied with him.
Oh, wow.
I studied with him for a while.
Love George Benson.
You know? Yeah, so I used to, and the funny thing is, I used to sing my solos, you know, with, in unison with me playing, you know, stuff like that.
Right.
Hey, that's my song, man. I copyrighted that. You stole my song, man.
But yeah, you sing along to what you're playing to match it in your head, right?
Yeah. But
You're
the guy
crazy.
used to say to me, "Say, listen, you know, that's great, man. You're copying, what's his name? I just said, what's his name?
Mickey something?
Baker.
Mickey Baker.
Troy Benson. No, you're
Oh, Troy
copying
Benson.
Troy
Oh, Benson.
Oh, no. My teacher, Rector Bailey, used to do that. That's how I learned to do it. From Rector Bailey, used to do that. So that's how I learned it. And this guy could play great upright bass. He played great piano. He lived in Brooklyn. He was in Brooklyn, and he's phenomenal. I'm going to do a documentary on him, and I'm trying to find out other things about him that I didn't know about.
Right.
But this guy was like a legend. He looked like Duke Ellington. He looked like Duke Ellington, and he was the most talented guy anybody ever was. I'm telling you, he was unbelievable.
Awesome. Well, we're going to talk about this some more. We got some other stuff that Trade's going to share with us, and some other questions that Ken has when we come back, because we got so a lot of time here to share with Trade. We're going to do that as soon as we come back after these messages, right from Effortless first.
Experience the difference beyond the cloud. Your desktop, your mobility, and your security, 24/7 support. Take your business beyond the cloud. Work less, worry less, effortless.